What's up, everybody? Josh or Miho here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to be talking to you about the new album from the band The Ruins of Beverast, entitled Blood Vaults. This is released on Van Records. Now, if you're not too familiar with this band, they are based out of Germany, and the best way to describe the sound of this band would be a very weird, obscure, doomy, an altogether frightening style of black metal. For the last decade plus or so, this has been a project that has really struck fear into the hearts of black metal fans and listeners, and creating a style that is just so unique and different. And within this band's existence, 3 albums have been made, aside from the one that I'm about to discuss. Unlock the Shrine, Rain Upon the Impure, and the first album I had ever gotten to listen to from this band, Foulest Semen of a Sheltered Elite. That album was just scary, ugly, and disgusting. But in all honesty, it created an album that was just so ingenious and unique. Great musicianship, amazing vocals, awesome concepts and lyrics. That album had it all. And to think that this band is the creation of just one person, it's just mind-blowing how amazing and crazy this kind of project is, that it's all just one person playing everything. It just sounds so right and so natural. It just feels great. Now we have the 4th full-length from this album, from this band, entitled Blood Vaults. It's 9 tracks, and it clocks in at around 78 minutes in length. And as you can tell, this is going to be one very long listening experience. This isn't something that you should just fast forward or just skip, you know. This is just something you have to really sit down, put your earphones on, and just engulf everything. The last 3 Ruins of Beverast albums had a very ominous and frightening and scary tone. But with this new album, this is probably the most immersive and atmospheric thing that this project has ever done. And in doing so, this is probably going to end up being my favorite black metal release of 2013. There's just so much amazing stuff going on with this album, from a musical, lyrical, and visual and conceptual standpoint. It just hits every single target perfectly, and I'm loving the hell out of it. The main story of this entire record is the guitar riff, and the way every riff is structured and played and executed. I mean, you're going to get your usual kind of black metal riffs, some nice high-picking tremolo riffs. You're going to get a lot of that well executed with the track Demon. That track definitely showcases the black metal aspects of this project. To even Ornaments On Malice, you get some really great black metal inspired riffs going on there. To even the track Malefica, which is pretty much where you get the doom aspect of this band, and I think it just sounds so phenomenal, so crushing and so heavy. I love that about this band. This band's doom aspect is just sensational. I really am enjoying the fact that it definitely does switch from that kind of style to something completely different. I love that. The bass guitar sounds very good too. I definitely think it blends in and works its way nicely amongst this album's production and mix. It definitely is a nice little counterpart to the guitar work being done on this album. And I should also mention this. The production on this album is very crisp and very lavish. Not lavish to the point where it's going to interfere or distract the actual album itself, but I think this album's production and mixing definitely gives this album a much needed oomph, you know, and I think it works so good. The drum work on here, going back to what I said about this project having a bit of a doom kind of vibe, I think it's great. I like the fact that the drums are very methodical and patient, but yet they're played so very good. It feels very natural sounding. I just love the snare tone, the kick, the cymbals. You do get the occasional drum fill and blast beat every now and then. It's not overly dominated by that. It's very diverse, and I think it definitely showcases itself very well here. I enjoy the way the drums are being executed here. To even the use of keys. The keyboards and synths on here just sound phenomenal, and they definitely add an eerier vibe to an already great concept piece that this album has. And moving on to the vocals here just sound so rugged and frightening. I mean, there are moments where you're going to get some vocal patterns that are spoken in a Latin kind of tongue, almost altered and almost very hard to understand. But then when you get to the actual vocals, Alexander's actual vocals, they just sound phenomenal. Just throaty, rugged, an almost sense of urgency going on with this guy's vocal style. I think it's great. And that's the kind of style you're going to get with this album. I understand that in the past releases that he's had a little bit of a variation from being almost very low and booming to an almost high-pitched kind of wail and scream. You don't get too much of the wails and screams going on here, and I kind of wish that this album had a little bit more within screams, but this guy's vocal delivery is just top-notch, as high quality as you can get, and he definitely delivers a sensational vocal performance. Very emotional, very taut, very powerful. Yeah, and even to the moments where there's some actual kind of singing and crooning going on. I think it's definitely a beautiful aspect to this album's singing vocal style. I think it's great. Even going to two tracks on this album in particular, Trial and Ordeal. I believe Ordeal is a song that has some female vocals. Yeah, it adds to this album's already unique and over-the-top kind of concept. I really enjoy that a lot. And definitely the closing track, Monument, is just very amazing. It definitely sends off this album in style, and I'm loving the hell out of it. So overall, this is one very extravagant piece of black metal. I love its concept, I love its vibe, I love how it feels, I love the way everything sounds. It feels great. It's scary, it's atmospheric, it's engulfing. Let everything surround you, and listen to this album on some very good quality stereo speakers, because you're definitely going to be in for a very unique and awesome thrill ride. I love everything about this album, and this is definitely one of the best pieces of black metal you'll hear in 2013 by far. Definitely believe the hype. This is a project worth listening to. So overall, if I had to pick any favorite tracks, I would definitely have to say Daemon, Malefica, Spires, The Wailing City, A Failed Exorcism, and Monument. Just some great tracks. I'm going to leave you a link in the description box to some select tracks from this album that are currently streaming on the Van Records YouTube channel. Also to the Van Records web store, where you can purchase a physical copy of this album. I believe this album is available in a limited digi-sleeve with foil embossed artwork, and a 2 LP color LP, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, you probably might have to break the bank for this one, but I definitely would say that it's worth it if you're a fan of the Ruins of Beverast. I think this is an amazing album, and definitely something that Alexander should be very proud of for making. So, again, the album is, and I'm going to say the full album name this time, Blood Vaults, The Blazing Gospel of Henrich Kramer by the Ruins of Beverast. This is released on Van Records. Definitely get this whenever it's available. If it's available in American distros, or if you have to buy it direct from Van, get it however you can. It's mandatory purchasing. I'm going to give this a perfect 10 out of 10. This is a sensational piece of black metal, and I love everything about it. So support the Ruins of Beverast. I'm going to conclude this review. Thanks all for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel, and until the next time, Armijo out.